goes live here.
All right.
Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. This is interview with Week 6 MVP Jafud, and from the Redux Rain roster, that has been looking quite hot as of recent, and a lot of that success as of recent has been because of this wonderful gentleman here, Jafud. Welcome.
Yep. Thank you. Uh,
Now, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's get the people that don't know you, since you're new to the league, to just get to know you a little bit.
all right. My name is Josh, or as many of you guys know, Jafud. I am obviously a fan of Pens from Pittsburgh. I'm 19, and pretty much I'm main AR for Redux.
Yeah, that's pretty lit. I like that. I'm not like a big fan of the Pittsburgh part, but uh, it's cool. It's cool. Can dig it. So first of all, just like I just want to just jump out here and say congratulations once again, for
Thank
your
you.
Week 6 nomination victory here, and the voting. You saw the numbers yourself in the Twitter. It was pretty redonkulous. How you were able to win by such a large margin. We didn't
Yeah.
see a we didn't see a historic number of voters though that we saw in the past. Like, it didn't break a record. We had 99. Uh, but 99 voters, but you had 68% of that all go you. And did you expect that? Do you think you deserved it more than the others
Uh,
there?
I honestly I didn't expect it, and in my honest opinion, I don't really think I deserved it. I know Flames was up there. I really did just expect him to take over with that. Because I know Flames is up there. He has ran some Pro 8s and everything like that. So he's definitely more known than me. So winning it was a surprise.
No, for sure. I think it was a little bit of a surprise, but when you look at your stats, though, that's the only part that doesn't surprise me. Is statistically across the others that were mentioned in the nominations, I felt like you stuck out definitely like a sore thumb there. An elephant in the room. You see, yourself with a 2.9 on hardpoint, a 2.67 on S&D, and then a whopping 6.0
And then a six.
6.0 on the control. It was absolutely ridiculous numbers. And sure, you weren't up against a very strong team in your group, one of the teams in the bottom, but to put numbers up like that, that's still got to be impressive. Uh, you know, just looking at the other players, on in this lineup of nominees, did anybody else stick out for you? And maybe tell me a little bit why they stick out to you.
I mean, currently looking at this, obviously Bateman, with obviously the 2.27 in the hard point and 3.0 in the S&D, definitely is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And the control, yeah, he still has pretty solid stats. I mean, definitely, still he played pretty well from what I know.
And Flames, even though he did make it here, his stats weren't as inflated as what we've seen in the past. Partially probably due to the fact 47 was on the roster for that week's match, but he still did a good job in helping carry his team through that 3-1 victory they had over Divine Future on stream. And segueing away from these stats and stuff, and just speaking about the whole Divine Future thing, let's jump over to the next screen we got, which is going to be your groups, right? And so
All
with
right.
the groups, you guys have Divine Future in your group, and you also
Yeah.
have them to play later this week. I believe Monday coming up. Uh, what do you think about that matchup?
I think it's definitely going to be a close matchup, but I believe if we just play as we did before, it should be maybe 3-1, 3-2. It might go all the way at 5. Obviously, I hope it doesn't, but looking realistically here, it definitely could swing either way.
No, for sure. I think based off of how you guys have played each other as well, they've been tooth and nail matchups as well. I think the first time you guys ran, I know you weren't on the roster for the first matchup against Divine Future. It was something of like a 3-1, maybe 3-2, where Divine Future was able to take the win in that instance. Well, now here in this situation, now you're here to change up this lineup, and That's one of the big questions I actually have for you, and it's just overall, what are your thoughts on the lineup, who you're playing with, and then what you kind of inject into this team that maybe they were missing before.
So pretty much, like I know from before joining this roster, what they told me that their AR presence wasn't really there. They were more of a sub-heavy team, and now that I'm on the roster, we're realizing now, okay, we're more AR heavy, so it's definitely is going to be a transition because we're all of our good maps could now be our bad maps, and all our bad maps could be our good maps. Some could stay the same. You never really know.
No,
Uh,
for sure, for sure, and tell me a little bit about what got you interested into joining this team in the first place.
well, so to begin with, I was obviously a free agent before any of this, and I got DM'd. I forget. I think it was Schnapps or I think it was Flinch. One of those two. They messaged me on Twitter asking to run, and I decided try it, see how it goes. And the first day went. It was actually really well. I wasn't expecting that, especially with like a me joining a roster, not really expecting it to really do well. And we instantly started popping off, and the vibes were all there, and that's what I really liked. And then obviously the more we played, the more I stayed, and I really do like the team where we're at now.
No, for sure, and yeah, like your team worked together very well in unison, and just looking over at the team's performance against Elemental, blowing that one up there, you see extremely well. Like I remember from the gameplay that you guys played very well coordinated together, even though it was one of your first matches like on stream and in the league with this roster. Um, I see Jafud. I see you stand out in two of those three matches as the player of the match or the map. Flinched, I know, and Schnapps, they both combined for like equal
Equally the same.
KD in the S&D there. Very strong performance there. Schnapps, I think, just took it a little bit over him. I think a few plays that I remember in the moment on those maps that stuck out, and that's kind of why I put him above Flinched in that map. Um, you stood up not on your own in the hard point. You had Flinch there, who, like you were mentioning before, really strong AR, and that's what makes you guys a more AR heavy team, right?
Yep.
Is because of the fact that combination. Or was he playing AR or sub? I'm trying to remember.
I believe he was an AR for that.
He was an AR, yeah, because I know Blinder in S&D, I've seen him use sub using ARs, but I'm trying to remember if he uses ARs on like consistently. I know Schnapps runs a sub, for sure. Um, Now, looking at the raid control, like that's where you really popped off and took your team over the top. I think you also had a ton of streaks that were useful for your team
Yep.
throughout that one, and you guys were able to clear through the, speed run the control, so to speak, 3-0. I don't even think you guys let them cap a single point in the on your defense. Uh, you know, looking at this and like how you guys were able to dismantle this roster from Elemental Gaming, I just want to ask, on stream, I mean not on stream, on off stream matches, or your scrims or whatnot, what's your game type so far that working with this team you guys feel is that one that you guys could say is your stronger suit?
I'm gonna definitely say control. It's just we like a lot of the controls. It all relies on us playing slow and just playing more as a team. And obviously, it did show against Elemental, but I do know in scrims the teamwork is definitely getting there. It could be a little bit better, but it's overall control for sure. Like switches, baiting switches, and just team pushing and getting spawn traps set up. It's really like we've been able to do insanely well on controls against a lot of teams.
Oh yeah, no, well, like knowing that, that's gonna be wow. That's gonna be a really interesting map three then for you guys up against Divine Future, because that seems like that's the one stat line that they beat you guys in is control. They have a better record. They nearly took a control off of the control on stream against Team Flawless. It was like so they outslayed them on 3 out of the 4 rounds that they played. They just weren't able to control that in terms of the the rounds that they gave up on defense. Uh, Wow, that's gonna be super
It's gonna
interesting to
be
see
interesting.
next week. That's gonna be super interesting for you guys off stream. It's gonna be interesting to see, if any of you guys end up streaming it ultimately. If I'm gonna be able to pop in on that, that'd be so cool. As like
I
I
know I will
wish
be.
I
So
could have made that a stream match. It just the schedule didn't end up working for it. But you know, speaking about other matchups you guys have to worry about, you guys have on the cards the top two teams in your group next week. You guys have to face.
yep.
That's a tall glass of or can of whoop ass to take on. To next week, and you guys are definitely looking to prep towards that. Any little insight on how you guys like to prep for your top dog teams here that you're fighting against?
I mean, is right now it's we're just gonna keep doing what we normally do. I'm not gonna give too much information away, but definitely gonna see what their strong suits are, and we're gonna try to hold them back on those. Gonna
So
try
do
to
you
keep
guys
those
have
down.
have you guys been able to identify your team's weak points or weak modes, and is that something you're gonna tackle the most going into the matchup, or are you gonna work on their weak modes and try
We're
to really?
we're gonna try to work on a little bit of both. I would definitely say more of our weak modes, just because like all those like our weak games could always go either way. And if we just focus on their weak modes, it's only gonna be one out of the rest of them. So like one or two out of the rest of their week. And I don't want to put too much pressure of trying to figure out. Okay, they're weak at like let's say hard point. So we're just gonna practice all hard points. I'm not one to do that. I want to do a little bit of everything, get well rounded, because especially against these top teams, because you never know what could happen.
So do you? What would you say your team favors more? And I'll even ask you personally as well. Are you more of an SD wins championships kind of guy, or are you a respawn you know person? Winning those hard points matters more.
I mean, how I see it, there are three respawns, two searches, and overall, I would definitely say S&Ds do win championships because S&D rosters you can see coming out of challengers, they do end up making a splash, and that's just because learning respawn it doesn't take too much. S&D on its own, like knowing timing and strats and everything that goes into search, definitely a lot more than just doing respawns. So yes, yeah, S&D wins championships.
Yeah, for sure. And you're looking at S&D wins championships, a team that has a bit of an S&D weakness right now. It are going to be your opponents coming up this weekend with Divine Future. So it's going to be interesting to see how if you guys choose to prepare still for S&D, how much time you put into that, or if you put it more into your control or your hard point going into the matchup. Um, but you guys, apart from the three matches you guys have left, are there any thoughts you guys have towards, for instance, like the other teams in your group? Do you feel like certain teams don't deserve to be where they're at when looking at the standings in your group? Do you feel like maybe if
Yeah.
you were on this team at the beginning of the regular season that you'd be in a different position, you guys would be in a different spot?
Yeah, I personally believe if I was on the team at the beginning of the season, definitely we should be third, maybe second. Third, maybe second. I don't
Okay.
think Flawless is that good of a roster. I've played them time and time again. Like I said, when we played them off stream, yeah, first hardpoint wasn't too hot, and the control we almost took, and the hardpoints were close. So definitely think if I was on the roster at the beginning of the year and we had more time and more chemistry, definitely could be up higher in our group.
Okay. So come playoff time, you feel like you'll have enough time there, when you guys hit up the playoffs, that you'll be more prepped and ready for, to face on those teams in the other groups. Say for instance, if you guys come in fourth here of your group, you guys will have to be up against Zella Squad, the undefeated team in the league, across all modes and maps.
Yeah, I do think if like we just keep going over what we know and doing what we need to do, definitely could make that Zealous squad maybe have a run, give them one run for their money.
Okay, and so looking at, both the groups now instead of just looking at yours, since I'm starting to talk a bit about Zealous Squad there, do you got any, have you looked much into the group B, the other group? Have you looked at any of the teams? Do you recognize or know any of them? Do you think that the way that things are shaping up in that group, that the standings look pretty accurate?
Yeah, I don't know too much about Group B, but if I had to just take a guess, all those standings seem to be right. I know Zelos, they have a decent squad. I'm not gonna say obviously a out of the water squad, like an insane squad. I know a lot of those players are talented, but a lot of people can be talented, but if they can't get anything to click when it comes to that time, then it's no point.
Have you guys scrimmed anybody in that group yet?
Not that I know of. I don't really know who's on what squad, so we very well could have, and I just don't know.
Okay, so since it sounds like there's like, because you guys are fairly new together as a team, right? As a roster, it's been like what, 1 week, 2 weeks?
It's been 1 week. This is the second week.
Yeah. So why don't you tell me a little bit about this team and your team and sort of like what goes on behind closed doors? Like who's the brainchild in the group? Who's the got the brains and who's got the bronze and who's got the humor? Who's got the awkward shyness or something? Like doesn't talk as much. What's it like?
I would definitely say for sure, like the person who doesn't talk too much, gonna be leaning towards more blinder, but I also don't hear him too much. Discord's kind of quiet sometimes, so he could just be talking. I don't hear him, but I would say definitely he's quiet. I would kind of say that the jokester for the most part. I like if I could joke around a bit, I'm definitely gonna take it. And yeah, again, I have some brains. I know Schnaps has some brains too, so me and him kind of understand where like everything is coming from, and definitely flinched is gonna be the brawn really.
Jeez. So he's saying French just got that skill, and you guys just tell him what to do, and he does it.
Pretty much. I mean, that's kind of how it goes though. Like a lot of us, we will make a play, and we're just gonna listen to whoever calls the play. So it kind of like one thing we need to work on having like an in-game leader, which we're gonna get completely fixed by the end of this week. It's right now everybody's calling out what to do, and I know personally I don't know. I really don't see too much like coming out of like what to do from flinched.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
definitely still a good player. Everybody's still we have a really solid roster. We just got to work on our flaws.
that's fine. I like that. I like that. Work on those weaknesses and also understand that like you got them because like that's one of those big things you see with teams and some teams is especially when you got somebody on camera in the interview. Not a lot of these teams like to talk that or say they have many weaknesses and just be like, yeah, we had an off day when we lost. That's kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it's good that you recognize that. And but yeah, no. So I would definitely recommend you do look into the other group because as we get closer to playoff time, your first round matchup will be a team from the other group, regardless on if
Okay.
you're in losers or winners bracket. So keep an eye on that. If you guys are in winners bracket, you guys are getting fourth. You're going to be up against Zealous Squad. If you guys end up dropping this matchup to Divine Future, and somehow, you drop your two other matches to Hi-Fi and to ADS, then you're looking at most likely being around the fifth or sixth mark on your in the no, you're gonna be in the fifth for sure. You'll be in the fifth. Then you'll be in the fifth. Then if you drop to Divine Future, you'll be in fifth, and you'll most likely be up against Team Velis, which will be pretty much a bit of a walk. But then from then on out, it's just going to be interesting to see who you end up facing off that comes dropping down from winners. Uh, that's all I can say there because that'll be interesting enough there to see who you end up getting pulled in from winners because man, winners bracket's going to be an absolute slugfest. I think, especially seeing some of these strong teams hit up against each other. And to me, my biggest question mark is going to be on whether or not Group B's OTB and OP Black are able to make their pushes into top four just in time for playoffs because both those teams are absolutely. I think specifically the OP Black roster is looking super monstrous. They took down Zealous Squad in a playoffs in another league, and so they're looking really big there. They're heading to Sugarland as well, the Texas land coming up. So they're prepping for that. They got Bateman on that roster, who you were talking about earlier. Had a good showing in the same week that you ended up taking the week 6 MVP, and they even took down Dawn of Chaos in 4 maps as well off stream last week. So they're a bit of a newcomer, what would you call it, like that hot ass transfer student in your high school. He's becoming a bit of a popular kid here, and OTB Esports, they had a lackluster start first half of the season, but they've been hitting up some of these teams in the middle of their bracket here. They've taken maps off of and series off of, Las Vegas Spades. I think they got a series up against 302 Gold later on this week, off stream, and I think they might have KGK next week as well. So, with Dawn of Chaos also looming, so they got a pretty decent schedule still to compete through, and but yeah, no, you guys are in a great opportunity to potentially get that winners bracket. It all comes down, I feel like, to this weekend's matchup, because you guys need to beat Divine Future. Now, moving away from all of this and kind of going into the new segments that I like to bring in, which would be this is a class setup segment that I want to do. So instead of doing the tier list that you guys are all familiar with me doing like the weeks before, I want to do something fresh here with Jafud, and so one of the things that I want to see is, how do we set up our class setups here, and what do you rock with? And so you said you were what, an AR player?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So let's see let's see what we can do here. So let me jump into my weapons and set that up. Class setup here. Oh, here we go. Jafud, here we go. This is your class setup. Okay, so let's get rid of the starting. Actually, where do we want to start here? We want to start with, we'll start with the primary.
Yeah, start with the AR here.
Okay, so what's your AR? What do you like to rock here? The
it's
QBZ or the Krig or the XM4?
definitely gonna have to be the Krig. I mean, it's just a dominant AR here. It's just a given.
AK-47, FFAR.
There was one gun you didn't list though. I'm gonna have to say it's gonna have to be the Milano.
As the AR?
Yes.
Okay. Well, submachine gun Milano. Let me try to just drag that over. Oh, it won't let me.
Let's just drag it over. Yeah.
It won't let me drag it over to AR. Unfortunately, it's a little bugged here, so we'll hold off on that one. But we'll do the Krig here. So we got the Krig.
All right.
Let's go into Gunsmith. So tell me a bit about your rig. Do you go 7 attachments? Do you go 5 attachments? Or is it 8 attachments? Something like that?
It's 7, and I kind of have a class for both. It all depends on situation.
Okay, so what do we want to do? We'll do one class first, and then we'll do the other one second, okay?
We'll do the one that's we'll do the 5 first.
Okay.
So for my optic, I'm about to put on a microflex here.
Interesting. Why do you choose Microflex? There are other options. Why do you choose Microflex?
It's just my FOV and the other option. I forget what it's called, but
you choose this reticle too, right?
No, I use the mustache.
Okay, mustache. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. Yeah. Do you have a camo too?
It's cherry blossom.
Do I not have that one?
I don't think you do. No.
Oh man, I don't even play. Damn, I gotta work on that.
That's okay. It's okay. So
my favorite one is this one. That's my favorite camo, the Seducer.
See, that's not a bad camo right there.
It makes me think of a CS:GO gun.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. But okay, so let's go back to attachments here. So you go with the Microflex LED. With the mustache reticle.
Yeah, with the mustache. Can't forget that. For the barrel, you got a barrel next, and I put on a.
Not a muzzle. You don't go with
no muzzle here.
You don't go with the infantry compensator. You don't like
Nope.
to
I put
break
on
GAs, boy?
no. I don't even think that is G8
Is
anymore.
it?
I don't think it is anymore.
I thought it was only the subs that had their
They had
muscles.
that. That's back in
Muscles.
now. They have their muzzles back.
We've had them back for before this challenges people.
And then I put on the Ranger.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Why the Ranger and not like something like the takedown or the contour,
I
the strafe speed,
I mean,
vehicle damage? Question. I
vehicle
think.
damage. It would be definitely a good one to try. I would have to try it though. Like
Yeah.
probably on probably Garrison it might be good. You never know.
Oh yeah, to destroy those tanks, right? So they're not in your way anymore.
Yeah, just take them right out.
So Ranger, yeah. So you rock Ranger. I know. I think I've heard of a few pros that like ran something else. Like, was it? Wasn't the
Takedown, I
takedown one
think.
that was
Yes, it
ran?
was always between takedown and Ranger.
Yeah.
I run Ranger, and it's just I personally feel like my bullets just connect better whenever I've tried takedown. It didn't feel too good for me, so I went back to Ranger.
Okay. So you just like having that extra bullet velocity makes your gunfights up
Yeah,
against submachine guns kind of go a bit better.
yeah,
Okay.
kind
Okay.
of definitely kind of helps me out there.
Okay. And then you go for anything on the body?
No, we don't do any of those. If I was feeling kind of frisky, definitely gonna put a flashlight.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. It'll
All
help
right,
you out in the dark, right?
yeah, I gotta see, especially on Miami.
Okay, we're gonna go with that underbarrel next, right?
Yep, and we're gonna be putting on the field agent grip. I know some people, depending on how fast they play, they do run speed grip,
Yeah.
but I'm one to run the field agent. I do play more passive and slower, so I'm not really getting those up close gunfights as often.
Speaking about passive, guys, if you check out my channel on YouTube, you'll see some information videos on how to learn some passive income off of Amazon. You guys can sell so many goods, and you could be a rich motherfucker like me with your passive income that would be absolutely redonkulous. Okay, now moving on, we got magazine next.
No mag,
No mag.
no mag.
You sure?
Yes,
Is it just because you're like
100%.
into books more instead of magazines?
Uh, no, I'm more of just read everything online.
Got you.
I just I like to just take my phone and really just glue my face to it.
It's not
Definitely
because
something.
it's for the environment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I got to save the trees.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, so we'll go to the handle then next, right?
Yep, and I put on airborne elastic.
Ah. So why not go with something else? Why do you got to go with the airborne?
I mean, that just kind of helps overall with the flinch resistance especially, and ADS time is another big thing.
But your
And
sprint
with
to
the
fire time though.
my sprint to fire time, that is one thing. I've been debating on actually changing that. I gotta test it because I don't really think there's a point to even have the aim down sight. Not aim down sight. The aim while going prone with the nerf.
You could
The
go
the
with the
movement
field
nerf
tape, if
definitely field shape for sure.
you could go with that one if you just want the flinch resistance without all the negatives there.
Yeah, but I kind of like my ADS time too, though. So I would have to
Then
go with jungle.
then maybe you go with the jungle. Yeah, you only lose about you get back 3% of your sprint to fire time than what you would lose here 15. Shooting
Yep.
movement speed is going to be better too. Could do something like that. Get a little mixy with that jungle rip. Okay, but you're gonna go in with that
My bad.
airborne elastic. Okay, gotcha. I got you on that one. Stock. What do you got?
Stock I put on Raider.
Raider. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I see you.
Because
Now what?
sometimes you gotta raid. You just gotta fly. Raid Shadow
So
Legends.
so are there any other stocks that are like that people would run other than Raider? Like maybe no stock?
Not that I really know of. I mean, maybe combat stock. I wouldn't even try it though. I just know Raider is pretty much always the go-to.
But like the gun looks so good with no stock on. Look at that. It looks so pretty,
I
right?
it looks it. I mean, honestly, it looks kind of raw like that. I might have to try it in a scrim or two.
God damn, it's like back in the day. I think it was in not back in the day, but in back in Modern Warfare when people ran like in Warzone the Growl with no stock, and that shit just looks so stubbed. Like it looked like a when you have a pistol like a Magnum with a snub nose. It just like it looks so like it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. We got that Raider stock. That's good. So that's your setup for the gun.
Yep.
What do you got as your secondary? Are you
Uh,
like me? You like running this Warden word, the shoddy?
See, if I had to run a shoddy, I'm definitely gonna run a Gallo here. You know,
Really, not the Sweet Sweeper?
I sadly I don't have it unlocked.
Same.
So I can't.
I'm
But it
working
would
on it.
definitely be the Gallo here.
Yeah, that's nice. But you
Or
rock a pistol instead, right?
if I feel like, yeah. But if I feel like MW 2 days, I'm taking the noob tube. All right,
Oh,
that's just
you're
a
thinking
fact.
about the Thumper, right, or something?
Yep, all the way in special.
Oh yeah, the M79 China Lake. There we go.
Definitely would be another go-to.
Uh, yeah. Okay. So away from our dreams, let's go back to
Yeah,
reality. Our pistol. We got the
it's
Diamatti, right?
the yep, the Amati.
And how do you kit that thing out?
So I don't put a sight on this. I know some people do. I like it better without a sight, and I put on like a muzzle brake.
Muzzle brake 9.
I for a barrel, I want to say I forget what I put on it. I think it's chrome lined or reinforced, one of those two. All depends on my mood, really. I think right now I have chrome lined on it.
Okay. We got
For the magazine, I don't run any of those 30. I don't need that many bullets. I go with just a standard 24 round, not the just a normal 24.
Jeez, doesn't even want to get sexy with the speed one. Jeez.
Nope. What
Man,
can I
you
say? It's
vanilla ass man over there. Look at
hell
that.
yeah. And then of course the OG airborne elastic.
I probably could have guessed that from what you ran with your AR.
Yep.
Oh,
And
dual build, right?
obviously.
Okay, there we go. I like to see it. Okay. Now, before we obviously go into the other section, we gotta get rid of the wild card and put something else. All right, what do you like here?
We throw on a lawbreaker here.
Ooh. Okay, and you
And
want to go for
then
perks or tactical, lethal,
we'll
and field
go
upgrade?
we'll go to the tacticals here.
Yeah.
So I run a flashbang.
Really?
Yes.
You're not like very
Surprise.
strategic and run the smoke or the
The
decoy.
I would definitely try a decoy though. I mean, sometimes you just throw across the map, they think you're spawning behind.
I
There you
remember
go.
in Black Ops 4, the stim shot was pretty good. Why not run the stim shot?
It doesn't have the same feeling. If it had the same feeling, it might have been up there. Might have been a go-to.
How could it not have? It's still something that's penetrating your body and making you feel godlike.
But it doesn't make me feel cracked enough.
So then, what penetrating your body would make you feel cracked enough?
We're not gonna go there.
Okay, well, okay, I don't think I was
No.
extending an offer, an invitation after dinner, but if you're gonna
Nope.
if you're gonna just take it
Um,
like that, then fine, suck all the fun out of it.
yeah.
You like sucking the fun out of the out of okay, well we're gonna go back over to that flashbang right there.
We're gonna stop before this gets too far.
Yeah, we're getting a little too mixy there. Okay, next one we got the tomahawk for your lethal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, on the
standard.
tomahawk.
And
Yeah, it's pretty standard overall, and
field upgrade.
trophy system. Even though, honestly, I've been testing out a SAM turret.
Oh, really?
Yes, because we don't want them getting them streaks. We gotta shoot them out of the sky.
You know, I've always hated the SAM turret. Just in any Call of Duty.
Well, it's just
Because I'm like, why did they have to name it after after like 3 of my exes?
I honestly have no idea.
It's like COD just hated me. The COD gods were like, Chase, we
You
know you
know,
love COD
maybe
so much. We know you want to be in the industry, but let's make it harder
we're
for
gonna
you.
torture you.
You're gonna
Yep.
have to see three of your ex's name on there, on the game every single fucking year. Actually, not every year. Okay, pardon my language. Only with Treyarch they do this to me.
Only Treyarch.
But the gas mine, really? You don't like running the gas mine?
No, not. I don't think it does too well. I think it's just like one
But
giant like.
doesn't it cause people to choke on the other team?
Sometimes, you know. Other times they just kind of just inhale it and get high.
It's not with every gas, sir.
It's well, you never know.
Okay, well, we're
Well,
gonna go over to
go
trophy
back to
system
trophy.
because I'm pretty sure you're a
That
trophy player from what I've seen.
yes.
Yeah, there we go. One of the
And,
four trophy players on your roster, right?
yeah, 100%.
Okay. So
We're gonna go back to that lethal here. We're
oh,
gonna
we
have to
are
change that up a bit. We're gonna have to put that back on Semtex. No.
Semtex. I thought that Semtex was GA'd. Oh no, it was the
Or-
frag, the other
no,
thing
it's
that
the
looks like a
frag.
Semtex that doesn't have stickiness.
Yeah. Which I don't understand why GA a frag. You know, it's just a frag grenade.
I know, it's like, what do you have against frags, bro? Like, jeez.
See, you know, maybe just a badass.
Equality. Like Semtexes are just as good, you know, just one stickier than the other.
Yep, and it's honestly, you know, equality. We need equality here.
My girlfriend would rather it be nice and smooth rather than sticky. I'm talking about your nades here. Come on, let's
Alright,
be
yeah,
real,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
go nades.
All right, yeah.
Okay, now moving on. So we got all the lethals, the tacticals, the field agents or equipment, the ordinances, everything there. Now we got the perks. That's the last section we got for your class. What do we
Yep.
got here with the perks?
So we're hopping right in. We're gonna keep the flak jacket. Go over to perk 2. Okay. We're gonna have to get rid of that assassin. We're gonna toss that out. Go right over back to perk 1. You know. And of course.
Engineer?
No. So, I have tech mask.
Really?
Yep.
So it's really all so it's your wall hacks that are telling everybody where those trophy
Yes.
systems are.
Yep. You know, sometimes I'll be looking at them through a wall. You never really know. You gotta watch out for that.
The only reason why anybody would run wall hacks in this game, guys, is for trophy system spotting, because
For the
nobody
trophies.
wants to put on engineer. Like, who the fuck wants to put engineer on when you could just pay $1 to get free fucking engineer perk just outside the game?
Exactly.
100%. And then P3,
And now,
perk 3. What do we got for that?
Perk 3. We're getting rid of Ghost. We're gonna throw on some Ninja.
Ah, like the streamer.
Yes, like the streamer. Except I'm a lot quieter.
So does it let you? Does it help you build?
It does not help me build. It does not help me in battle royales. It honestly kind of useless if you ask me.
Can you throw shuriken?
You know, I think if you have this equipped, it definitely replaces your lethal.
It does.
I believe it does, and then it changes your
Your appearance?
your does change your appearance. It makes you like a whole like ninja pretty much. And I think the trophy system it becomes a katana, so you know you get that like the Ripper.
Like the Ripper?
Yeah, like the Ripper
Bro, that's-
from BO3. Like
You just
know,
turn.
the
You just turn
flying
into.
people.
Do you just turn into Genji from Overwatch?
Yes. Yep.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not lying
I
to
would
me,
not
are you?
lie. I would not lie.
I don't
about
like
this.
liars.
Well, I'm not a liar here.
Okay. Just making sure. I can clip this. You're on camera.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry. I was kind of teasing you a bit. You just don't become a ninja. You still
Damn.
get all the other cool stuff. You just don't.
See, if
become
you
a
would have
ninja
said
in
Lego
game.
Ninjago type ninja and not Genji, I would have been like, okay, damn, fine, damn it.
The Lego Ninjago.
Or a turtle. Maybe you turn into a ninja turtle.
You become Master Oogway.
Is he a ninja though?
I don't know. I just know he has the knowledge.
Does he have more knowledge than you and your IGL on the team?
Uh, yes, he actually trains me.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that teaches me everything I know.
Fair enough. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. So we got your class. This is your class, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Now, would you say your class is better than my others? You know, I got the MP5 with the dual Diamatis. I got that knife and stone. Bro, your class is not better than my stoner class. Are you kidding me?
No, it's not. It can't be.
No.
It's just not possible.
Tundra, which got buffed. I swear it got buffed. We got the Type 63.
The no attachments on it.
Vanilla Type is the best type.
Yeah.
I like my type like I like my women. No attachments on them.
Oh.
They should be fine just on their own. Why you gotta add stuff like that?
You know, it's not about the attachments. It's about
The
your
attachment.
personality. I mean, and let me tell you, the Type 63's personality definitely gets there.
I would have preferred the Type 25 from Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, I would have liked the Type 25 or, just any other. But I definitely do. The Type 63 has a special place in my heart.
Now what's your type?
My types is it's gonna have to be, I forget all the types that were in Call of Duty.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's not what you're talking
I'm
about.
talking about like what's your type? You know, like if you hit up the old Ender,
But
what are you
ooh,
what's your you got a specific type you're interested to in Ammon?
no, not really. I mean, other than gotta be shorter than me, which is gonna be a task in its own. Cause I'm not too tall.
Okay then. I got you. I think I might be able to connect you with somebody. What starts with an H and ends with an E. It might be in chat. But
Might be in chat.
no, maybe.
Might be, maybe. Who knows?
I
Never
don't know.
know.
But we also got like the Milano, perfect with the knife. Gotta dig it like that.
Yep.
AK-47. We got the Tundra again, because I
With
love
the
it.
launcher.
Rocking that
But
Sigma launcher.
You made one mistake. It's not the thumper.
You're right. And
That's the only issue I see wrong here.
and I got the QBZ. Gotta love that.
QBZ, goated.
Why don't you run the QBZ? It's not G8.
Personally, I mean, I know some places they have it, like they don't want to be used. Definitely, I have ran the QBZ, and I do like the QBZ on some maps. I know Apocalypse. I didn't pull it out when we played on stream, but Apocalypse I would pull it out. Like any like the closer range maps, I would have a QBZ, and it's pretty much the same attachments on the Krig as I would put on my QBZ.
Okay, cool. Now, so we're pretty much done this segment. I know we could go into your 7 attachment gun, but I think it'd be just a bit too extended.
It's a little too much.
Little extended, like the mags or the barrel that people like to rock here and there in other guns. But yeah, no, I definitely want to pick your brain a little bit about the your thoughts when it comes to CDL. So there's a ton of action that's been happening as of recent. We got ourselves the major coming up this weekend, and actually already went underway today. We had some upsets in today's action. Both of the matches, I think people were saying, were upsets. 3-0 for Florida over the side of ALG, who took down FaZe like the other day. It was unbelievable last week. And we see a 3-0 coming from the Thieves after they just made a recent change, dropping to the bench Slasher, bringing in Draza, who looked absolutely phenomenal, had a standy effect for sure on the matchup today in their 3-0 win over the Paris Legion, who I unfortunately invested in, sort of like the Caesar Skies Bueno in his game.
Yep.
And yeah, I really paid the price there. 24 points on Aqua for the week end, and
Yeah.
yeah, just
Yikes.
absolutely booty cheeks. But you know what? That's all good. But what do you got for the major? You know, do you got a team that you think is a sleeper that might take it all? Do you, or you got a favorite you think
You know,
is gonna take
I
it?
personally, I love Thieves, but I don't see them going too far. Even though with the roster changes and all that, I think they would need definitely some more time. I know one team for sure that is going to be making a big difference is going to be the Ravens, because that is just with the new pickup of Paul, like you already saw the impact, and definitely with more time and everything, Paul is gonna make a splash.
Well, they are gonna be up against your LA Thieves next, getting a bit of a rematch from group stage, and
Yeah.
just let's see if I can pull it up for chat to view as well here. I can. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that one. Can I do bracket? Bracket? No, it's gonna be messed up. No, it's not.
It's gonna be weird, yeah. No, it won't.
Standings. Let's go standings. Group two, or stage two groups. Here, we'll pull this up for chat to view.
All
We'll
right.
pull this up for chat to view. So we'll jump over to the content here. So we got ourselves, uh, what? So looking at these groups, right?
Yeah.
What are the most surprising things here, and from these groups, from the placements, and who placed where?
Definitely Toronto being where they are in Group A, in my honest opinion. I know Toronto, I mean, they always had the talent, but they could never get anything to mesh really. And now seeing them being third definitely is going to be really different. Same with Ravens. Ravens, when they picked up Paul, see now they're 2-3. But I
With
mean,
the
Paul's
thieves
definitely
at the
going to make a
bottom.
big difference. Yeah, Thieves at the bottom. We don't talk about the Thieves. Over at Group B, Minnesota being on top over Dallas and
Yeah,
Chicago,
yeah,
that
the
is
biggest stunner.
definitely yeah, that's the biggest thing. Group B is pretty much the most stacked, I would say. You got Chicago, Dallas, Minnesota, Seattle, even Paris and Florida. Still, they're top teams. It's but Minnesota definitely being on top of Group B there. It's surprising.
And one of the other things that I think is surprising me a lot, is the fact that the Florida Mutineers, for the second stage in a row, bottom their group. And
Yeah.
what does that say to you? Like,
I mean, I wouldn't say it just needs like I don't think they need a roster change or anything. They do have a lot of young talent. I think if you just have the one player who can take over, like they brought on Neptune, you have still Big Wake, you know, still have those two players, and they're obviously still going to do great.
and
And
Skies,
Skies, I mean, obviously Skies, you got Mister Invest right
Mr.
there.
SoFi.
The one thing though, I personally I didn't like is when Havoc got benched. That I was not a big fan of. I figured Havoc, with his just knowledge and everything, and he could definitely have been on that roster.
And so, what do you think about that benching then, with Standy coming in and Major Maniac getting benched? Do you think he deserved to get the bench?
Major, no, I really don't. There's a lot of like a lot of the benches like people just getting
Methods on
benched.
Toronto getting benched as well.
That one makes no sense
Temp getting
at
benched
all.
on the Thieves.
I mean,
Slasher getting benched on the Thieves.
Temp getting benched on the Thieves did not surprise me.
Parasite coming in and then getting dropped off, sort of at the same speed and pace as his career so far in Challengers, getting benched and dropped from different teams
Yeah,
week to week.
I mean, like a lot of those. I know Thieves benching Temp. That didn't surprise me too much, especially picking up Venom. I know Venom. He hasn't been playing stellar, but still, he's still got to adapt and adjust and just get used to everything.
So who do you think makes the next roster change?
Um, Next roster change is probably going. Well, Thieves already made theirs. I want to say Gorillas. I can see
Ooh.
Gorillas making a change. Potentially seeing Paris make a change.
Who would you do on the Paris? And who would you do on the Gorillas?
See, I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know who they would even pick up. Like, it all depends on who they would pick up. So that is just kind of iffy on its own.
Well, do you feel like okay, I think this is the big one with Paris' situation. People are saying Fire uh needs to get dropped because
I
he's been the most
don't
inconsistent.
believe. See, I don't believe in the whole drop Fire. I think Fire just gotta. He just has to adapt and get more used to everything. Like, yeah, a. You just say I can't think of the word.
But he's been given you thinking he's been given a 1 to 2 now, 2 stages to fit and adapt with this roster.
Yep,
How many more
that is
stages do you
true.
give him before it becomes too problematic?
I mean, if they do make a change, I could maybe see Fire going, and I'm not a big fan of the whole Paris roster in general. I think it's just a whole bunch of players just thrown together and hoping for magic to happen.
But you don't think there's any
But
players there that would bring magic?
well, I know with
Who-
Scraps he will bring magic, and I see if I was in Paris's shoes, I would keep everybody, well, drop everybody, but Scraps really, and keep Fire on the bench just because he is a young gun. You know, you still have him play how he wants to play, and
Interesting.
definitely, he can still compete.
You pick
But
up
with
Weskins, I'm
him being
guessing too, right?
young, yeah, you obviously got to pick up the brother.
And
But
LAG, what's your fix there? Who's your crux on LAG?
um,
You know, you got Vivid, you have Silly, you have
Vivid's always played out of the
Apathy,
water.
you got I think Assault as well there. You know, do you
See,
get rid of the dad?
I no, I know Apathy. He might not be playing as like out of his mind, but he still makes big plays. I mean, I think really they just need to get more like working together and just try to figure something out. Like I don't know, it's hard for me to like really explain. Vivid always does well. So does Silly. Uh if somebody had to go, definitely would have to be Apathy though.
Really? Okay, okay. I see. So we got some subs being the potential issues here for some of these teams. You know, and then you got this New York team sitting on Hydra, who's on the bench, an absolute monster and a half in the challenger scene, shredding apart teams. Like, it, like, do you make a change? Like, why? Like, do you
Uh
put them in the spotlight? Do you give them an opportunity, like what Toronto did, where they just out of the blue were like, "Hey, methods, we want to give insight and opportunity since he's been tearing up the challenger scene, and let's just give him a stage and see what he can do." You know, do they do that and maybe put Mac off?
if Yeah, I was about to say if they were to do anything, definitely put Mac on the bench, sub Hydra in. A Sim's been playing out of his mind,
Hmm.
and I know like originally came in waiting for Hydra, but with a Sim making those big plays, and now you have Hydra on the bench. If anybody would had to go on that roster, definitely would have to be Mac.
Mm. No, for sure, definitely. And Clayster would be such a massive, you know, learn helping
Massive
like
help.
to learn him and like teach him, you know, the ropes there in the North American side of things and be there for the strategies and everything. Man, what a talented New York roster. And you know, you look at you look at the top four going into this major. You know, the teams you got Atlanta FaZe. You got your Dallas Empire, your New York Subliners, and your Chicago Optic, right?
Yeah,
Do you see that top four changing coming out of this major? Do you see Minnesota breaking in there? Do you see maybe?
I can see my top four is going to be FaZe, New York, uh, Dallas, and Minnesota. I do not think Optic is in the top four.
Okay.
I
Now this is
know a
this is
lot
some
of people are
juicy
gonna hate
stuff
me
here.
for it. Granted, I that whole roster is talented. You know, you have Dash, you have Envoy, you have the two young guns, and then you have Forma who just does his thing, and then you have Scump. Scump always, he's the king. And especially after the Dallas versus Chicago match, you 100% you had the king come back in action there. But it all depends on how long is that going to last. You're always going to have him performing at that level where he should, and
Yeah.
especially with like overall. I mean, that's really it. It all depends on Scump, and that puts a lot of weight on his shoulders too.
Yeah, and they have this Toronto Ultra matchup tomorrow. That will be, it should be a walk for them. And if they don't walk through them, then that could also be a bit of a mental,
If what
mental
I can
moment.
see happening is if Toronto beats them, I
Or
could
goes 5.
maybe if not, I don't know, not with it going five. If it's like a 3-0 and Toronto takes it, uh, I could potentially be seeing a roster change on Optic.
Really? Damn, that's a big one.
May,
Who's gonna get
would they
subbed out?
do
Their
it?
coach?
Would they do it? No, probably not. They wouldn't drop anybody. But if that, I would take a guess. If Optic had to, if they get 3-0 by Toronto, they would have to make some type of change.
Well, they'd have to make a losers bracket run too.
Yeah, but I don't know who they would even sub out there. Like you obviously have the King who goes off on points. You got Formal who, I mean, he's always gonna. Scump really is just gonna always be on the team until he retires, in my opinion.
Okay. And then who do you got in that Dallas and New York matchup? I want to know who you got.
I got New York.
I think that's going to be a really wonderful matchup to see. It's a
I got New
rematch. It's the
York three
third
one.
time these two teams are actually facing each other off. And, oh, is it the third or maybe the fourth time I'm seeing these two teams actually battle it out? It might be the fourth. If I'm. No, wait. No, it's the third time. It'd be the third time these guys are facing off in the regular season here. They faced twice in the major lot in the major. Dallas had the upper hand and won. In the stage one regular season, I think Dallas also had the upper hand and won that. So this is the third time's the charm. Does New York take it, or do they drop? That's the big question there. You have New York taking it 3-1. You said.
Yeah, I can see New York taking a three
So
one.
you thinking, and what are you thinking? Dallas still won't take any S and Ds?
No, I don't think Dallas will take an S&D.
Jeez.
I
Well,
I think Dallas will take, if anything, the first hard point.
I'm gonna say Dallas win this one in a 3-2 fashion. I think they get lucky and win the map 5 S&D by round 11. But but it's a
That
prediction and a half. Prediction and a half. Feel free to clip this up, guys. And if I'm wrong and it's a 3-0 New York, well, sure, Chase can look idiotic all he wants. Um, but yeah, no, that's yeah for sure. That's gonna be. I think that's the best matchup I have within the first 2 days. Um,
yeah.
I think tomorrow that's kind of gonna be the most interesting one. But I do think that when it comes to tomorrow's matchups, that the Florida Mutineers versus Seattle Surge should be a banger of a series as well. Um,
Yeah, so for sure.
and London and LA, especially the new looking LA, they get their rematch. Um, where London got the best of them in the group stage. So should be interesting to see how all of that kind of comes together tomorrow and then throughout the rest of the major. Now we're going to be shifting focus to the last segment we have here in the interview, and it's going to be the Q&A. As we're wrapping things up, we're getting to that hour mark here. Let's jump into that Q&A where we have the people waiting on Twitter and in the chat. So if anybody's got questions in chat, throw them in here on the stream, and we'll get those answered up for you. We'll try to prioritize those ones, but I'll be throwing up the questions here we have in the question section here on the tweet. So far we don't have too many questions for you, but we'll look to get them answered. And everybody's gonna see all the other stuff on my Twitter here. Yikes! But here we go.
Oh well.
We'll go off with our first question here. It's coming from the real King Ray. And how are you and your team preparing for playoffs? So, which is a
Uh,
pretty simple question.
Pretty simple. It's always gonna be what every other team is doing. We're just gonna scrim and just practice, go over VODs, and just really focus on what our weak points are and just try to make them stronger.
So I think I want to elaborate on this question. So, when do you guys learn of your first round matchup? Once you have your like locked in stuff, there's going to be a week break before playoffs start for teams to
Yep.
all like get ready for their matchups. Work on whatever they need to work on, and are you guys going to be doing a ton of VOD for your matchup, or
Yeah, we're gonna be
what's your
watching a
yeah
ton of VOD really on the other team.
on the other team? So that's like one of the things that
On
you guys prepare the most is for to exploit the other team's weaknesses more than ironing out yours, or do you feel like
Well,
yours
we're
take
definitely gonna try
priority?
to exploit. We're gonna try to exploit their weaknesses.
Nice. And obviously to get info on their maps, right? And what maps they look
Yeah,
good on, which
so we
ones they don't look
know
good on
which
for
ones to
the
get rid of. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. No, I like that. Um Before we move on to another question, let's jump into a question we have on the stream here. And this one's coming from Reaper from ADS. Why do you think Redux should be second or third if you were here from the beginning of the regular season?
Let me look up who. Okay. I mean, I've played flawless a lot of the time. Like not just in here. Like I've played 47 in them, and like in challengers, and I've always felt like I just needed to get a squad that was able to compete, and I really do feel like that is one of the teams. I haven't played Hi-Fi. I haven't played ADS. I'm definitely saying just if I had more practice with the squad and we were able to run more, definitely I feel like could have made a bigger splash than we are right now.
No, for sure. I definitely can see that being. I could definitely see what you're saying, and take your side on your point. Um, as well as if you guys were here at the beginning of the season, then you would have gotten wins. You could have potentially gotten wins on some of these teams before they left, and or the matchup that I think you guys had against. I'm just gonna look at the stats real quick, actually, because I think you guys have double check here, based off of guys' stats
I do
from.
know when we played Flawless, it was off stream. I think it was 3-1 control and 220 to 250 in the.
That was like your
And
first match on with this team, right? Was
that,
against
yes, that
Flawless.
was my first match ever with this roster.
Yeah, so no, for
And
sure. Definitely you guys would have showed up bigger and better on that one. Just trying to look at overall here and your team's history. And yeah, you guys lost to Divided We Fall. You guys lost to in the first half of the season. So if you were there, maybe you would have taken that one and had your record instead of being a 6-5, you'd be at a 7. You'd be at a 7-4. You have a loss here against Divine Future. So whether or not you guys beat Divine Future, um, if you guys beat Divine Future this weekend, then maybe you're also thinking back to that match, and you're thinking, hey, if I was here when when our team faced them the first time, that we could have taken them in that series as well. And then you're looking at your record could have easily been turned around and been you could be saying you're seeing your record at being 7-3 instead of being 6-5 right now.
yeah,
It's or not 7-3 but 8-3. So that's like those are some question marks over in that situation. And if it's 8-3, you're looking at that record being closer to Team Hi-Fi at it 9-2. You're also questioning whether or not come next week when you face off against Team Hi-Fi and ADS. If you guys take either of those series, then once again that's another potential question mark
like
on
what could
whether or
have
not
happened.
you could have taken them in the first half as well. You guys could be flipping the script if you guys beat these three teams that you have up against you guys next. Now, let's jump over to another question that we had in chat, and that one comes from Blinked, which is favorite thing about each of your teammates so far. It's a little bit more of a wholesome question there.
Oh, oh God. Uh, for flinched, I definitely, and being my duo, kind of like with the AR, I definitely like that, kind of playing the same way, kind of thinking the same way. Also, it's a curse though because watching the same things and everything like that. Uh, who else? Mine's going blank right now. For Schnapps, I definitely like the sub pressure that is there, and keep out that. And with flinched or not, yeah, I already said flinched. With blinded, definitely, still he's got the gunny. I really do. Think he got a. I think with like all of us just meshing together, it's gonna be a nasty roster.
For sure, it could definitely be a nasty roster. And we got another one. We got another interesting question here, and this is one I would have liked to have asked you earlier, but it's great that it comes in here in the Q and A, and it's from Christos K, at Real True Greek. It's what pro player is your favorite, and favorite of all favorite current what who's your favorite current pro player, and is it also your favorite pro player of all time?
So these go hand in hand, and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, why?" But it's gonna be for Clayster.
Oh, well, he says, he doesn't say why, but I'm gonna say why. So why Clayster?
Uh, I mean, I just feel like I play like him in a sense, and obviously I have the same kind of mentality. Like I'll get hyped if I have like I'll try to keep the hype up as much as I can, and I'll start screaming and everything if it comes down to it if we do something insane. So I mean, I really do feel like I'm just a mini Clay in that sense. Ponytail Clay, that is.
Not bad. I can dig that. I can dig that response and the reasons and choice behind all of that. We got ourselves another question here from the Twitterverse here, and it's from Proven, the Proven one, and he asks, proven, or proven.
I'm gonna have to go with Proven here. Yeah, it's just old teammate, great gunny, great mentality. Just sad that the first squad didn't never worked out.
And then,
But
yeah, why didn't the first squad work out? Why didn't it work out with Proven?
uh, with that squad arguments, it wasn't between me and Proven. It was between uh him and another teammate, and there would be arguments and disagreements a lot. Till eventually it got to the point where somebody snapped and went too far, and that whole roster had to split.
Okay, okay. Let's go with another one. We got one from Cryptic from Redux. The wonderful Cryptic, who I had a call scheduled for 10:30, but unfortunately that ended up getting ran over.
Push back.
My apologies, Cryptic. So the question is, ask who is his favorite admin in Redux.
Oh, can I say all of them, or do I have to say one?
I think he said who is your favorite, so it'd be like
Uh,
one.
I'm gonna have to say Glitch.
Okay, well you heard it here first. It's Glitch, guys. Glitch from Redux. Congratulations, you're the winner. Um, got some more questions here coming in.
Don't worry, I saw the one.
We had a
I'm
toxic
ready
one
to
that got
face.
deleted here.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna respond. I'll respond to that right now. We definitely are ready, and I don't think you're not expecting what you think you are.
so yeah, so Hope, get ready for a slappy special. If you're facing them in the winners bracket first round of playoffs, because Redux Rain, they ain't messing around. Um, and we got another one here. Last but not least, it's coming in here from your boy, Real True Greek Christos K once again. And he's gonna say, would you be willing to wrestle him to the death?
I'm a twig. I don't think I'd ever win that, so I'm gonna have to decline.
So let's take a look at Which one? Which one here is Which one here is that boy? Is it the guy with
I
the
got no
juicy
idea.
the juicy eagle thighs, or is it the guy over here on the left?
I don't know, but either way, I'm a skinny man.
Or maybe it's this guy here on the far left
Yeah, I
of this
got
really
no
nice
idea.
banner. Nice chuckling man. Might be him. Who knows? But no, for sure. And I think that should be wrapping up all the questions here. You know, we had the one about getting slammed, but you know, me and you talked about that already. You know, we'll figure out a dinner date, and then we'll do the invitations a bit more formally next time.
All right.
But thank you so much for tuning on in and coming into not tuning on in, but thank you so much for coming in for the interview. You know, a bit last notice as I asked you like today if you'd be cool to do the interview. Uh,
Yeah, that's fine.
and
So appreciate it.
you know, I think one question I got to give you, and comes from the world of TikTok actually. If you're
TikTok.
familiar with it,
Yes.
and it's do you think you'll be ready for Hope when he comes and gives you that Mickey Deluxe?
Uh,
Respectfully.
Personally, I think I will be ready. I can't speak on behalf of my teammates.
Okay, so you'll be ready. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning on in. Everybody at home, you know, it was awesome. Those of you guys checking out the interview, the long hour and like nearly 15 minutes long interview, we appreciate you guys for watching through and enjoying. If you guys got this far and you haven't already hit that like button, please do the subscription button as well. It helps out with the channel. And anything you want to say, you know, about the ALG League to any of the viewers at home, any of the teams that or organizations that didn't get in, but you know are looking that are questioning whether or not they get into this league. You know, do you got anything you want to say about it?
I mean, it definitely is one of the better leagues I've ever been in, and I would try to get into this as fast as you can. Definitely, I do enjoy playing it, even though I've not been in here, like in the league that long. This is my second week in the league, but I've loved every second of it.
Awesome. That's exactly what we like to hear. And you know, I swear to God, guys, there was no script that I had talked to him about prior to this. So don't worry, guys. No script whatsoever. And but yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning on in, and we hope you guys have a good evening. And stay tuned. We got more action to come tomorrow. We have a match on for you guys. Hopefully, it doesn't get rescheduled at all, and the teams can make it. Because we have ourselves, I believe, the matchup for tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a solo match. I gotta quickly double check who that is playing in it. We got ourselves. Let's see here. Zello Squad in 302 Gold is who's gonna be playing tomorrow. So the Trash Talkers up against the 302 Gold, the non 302 Blue. So the other team that performs better than 302 Blue. They'll be up against each other tomorrow on stream. So interesting enough there. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in, and this has been, you know, your interview with Week 6's MVP, Jafud from the Redux Rain roster. Best of luck for your matches left over in this regular season. I can't wait to see what awesome stuff you guys bring to the table, you know, next week and into the playoffs. And still, we last but not least, we have ourselves that right before playoffs, we will be announcing an all-star event day date that we'll have. And you might even see, guys, we might do some voting for the fans at home, or we might just be picking ourselves who gets to represent these teams. And if Redux Rain does stay in that top four going to playoffs, well, it'll be interesting to see if you yourself, Jafud, get picked from that roster to be a part of that all-star team for Group A. How much would you like to be a part of that?
I would love to be a part of it, but I know a lot of my squad, they've been here longer, they've put more time into it, so it wouldn't surprise me if one of them get it over me, if
Oh
we
yeah,
are still top four.
yeah. Do you got anybody on the other squads you'd want to play with? You'd look forward to having an
Uh,
opportunity to run with.
Definitely just anybody on Flawless, I do like a lot of them. I don't have anything against them. Like I used to know them back in BO3. I used to be chill with them, and then everything kind of split parts. And just playing with them again and everything would be nice to do,
Okay,
especially
well, cool.
learning
We'll
new
see.
people.
We'll see
Yeah.
if we'll make that happen, or if somebody like flinched might take your spot, take your thunder.
Yeah.
We'll see. He's been a man of many talents so far this league. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. We'll hope you guys have a good night, and stay tuned to the action tomorrow.